Yes, good evening, everyone. Welcome to Jamaica World Football Talk Show. I'm your host, Shad. You know, as you all know by now, you know, my motto in terms of this particular program within itself is football lives. And intuitively, football lives. In fact, football has been here with us for over 100, probably 150 years. And we have seen the evolution of football year over year, decade after decade, and so forth, you know. And it is very good that the game evolves to where it is today. In fact, our first topic will be about the CONCACAF Caribbean Club Championship. Yes. And we do have two Jamaican teams who have played in their game yesterday. Cavaliers FC, who are the reigning champions of the Jamaica Premier League, and Waterhouse FC. Of course, we don't know Firehouse, and Fire. And, it is a good thing to see that teams within Jamaica, after winning the Premier League, that they can actually go outside of the Premier League and challenge other teams within the Caribbean and CONCACAF. You know that there is the Mexicans who are always conquering CONCACAF, the club championship, Pumas, Atlas, all those clubs, and, it is a great opportunity to see Jamaican teams outside of Jamaica play, in the first game, of course, we were happy to announce that Waterhouse actually won their first game 2-0. And so they are top of their zone and looking to seal it off with another win or a draw to top the zone to go to the next round. Unfortunately, in the game between Cavaliers, they played the Asian counterfeit. And it was a game with high intensity, a very good match, to be honest. The Asian team had pretty much played their first game against Siba, who is the Dominican team, and they actually lost 3-0. So I think coming into this second match, they knew they had to win. Cavalier, on the other hand, was playing their first game. This is the match that I actually watched, right? So with that said, going up against the Haiti team, we can take it how we want to take it. It could be a case of overconfidence, one, or knowing that they had lost their first game. And so our approach may have been a little bit subtle in a sense. And of course, we end up scoring first. Cavaliers actually scored in the 3rd minute. And so, of course, you can only guess the excitement now that we have scored the first goal within 3 minutes and pretty much thinking, yes, we have this team because remember, the Haiti team lost their first game 3-0. But the Haiti team may have saw something that I actually saw as well, where we kind of like drop our hands as if to celebrate. And of course, football. Football is played for 90 minutes. And it is a game where you cannot rest at no time. It has to be the high intensity throughout. And to be honest, I was actually shocked when at halftime, the Haiti team actually led Cavaliers 2-1. Some good goals still, from the 80 team. You can't wrong them to say, hey, they didn't come out and play. And of course, the extra time that was played at halftime, they got like 10 minutes extra time in halftime to going into the halftime. So pretty much it's like a 55 minutes first half. In the second half, Cavaliers, and I wanted to say we, because of course a Jamaican team and I support all Jamaican teams wherever they play. And so we pretty much, got back into the game, started to play the football that we know destroyers always play. And of course, the equalizer came. But you see, the game of that magnitude, I can see where there is this consensus that we have to win. Come on, let's beat this team because we underrate them in the first place. And there's no way that them can beat us. And so we went for the juggler. And by going for the juggler, for that win, to say, yes, we won this game, we actually were the ones who were put to the sword. And it was the Haiti team who actually won that match. And it can be deemed as a disappointment for us because Violet AC was not what we expected. We have a talented Cavaliers team, and we expect them to perform well. And it's a shocker, to be honest, that we lost to Violet. It wasn't the way it was planned. But as I said, this is football, and at the end of the day, you cannot underestimate any team because one, they were down 1-0 in the 3rd minute, and then they scored in the 25th minute. And then, of course, in added time, going into halftime, they went up 2-1. So it could be a bit of anxiousness, or we can't wait for the halftime whistle to come so that we can regroup. Could be something of that sort. And, it happens. It happens in any game. But losing 3-2, yes, it's a disappointment, but at the end of the day, we still have another match, and we have a match tomorrow against Seba, which is the home team. And we're hoping that Cavaliers will brush off this loss. Cavalier needs a win from this game. And if they get a win from this game, they would advance as well to the next round. So just go out there and win on a game, the Cavaliers. You don't know. You see me? It's just football, And sometimes, we even play against our own self. So Seba and Violet is leading on 3 points, and we are hoping that Cavaliers can win their game and eventually they too can step it up to the next play. But as I had mentioned, Waterhouse FC won their first match 2-0, and so they are leading that group and looking very, very comfortable. In fact, I didn't see the match, but from what I've heard from my colleagues, Waterhouse did look the team, and they went out and really represent. So that's a beautiful thing, to see the CONCACAF Caribbean Cup Championship, and where we have 2 representatives from Jamaica. So good luck to Cavaliers and good luck to Waterhouse. Hopefully Waterhouse finish it off, and we're praying for Cavaliers to do the same so that they can advance to the next round. Yeah. So that's the beauty. I am just loving football. If anyone speaks to me and tell me anything other than football, I would probably tell them I don't know where you're coming from with that, because it's just football for me. Football is like life. It is a way to get away from the hustle and bustle of corporate America, and just finding a way to relax and enjoying something that you love, and even to avatar show. Just to speak in itself, is also a very good thing. For me, it's always about football. So now, last week we brought a very unfortunate news, which was the Reggae Girls. Pretty much, they wrote a letter to the JFF to remove the coach, which is Mr. Coach Vinbilin. And, my opinion on that was for us to not make these unfortunate decisions to get rid of the coach, especially the coaches 4-0. I felt like we need continuity in terms of our coaching, and with the players, the females, coming out and against the coach. I can also see where it can be deemed negative in a sense, because how will the girls pull this off? Will they really play for him going forward? Will they just drop their hands? We don't know. The good news is that the Jamaica Football Federation and its technical directors, they actually recommend that Coach Vin Blaine stays. And so I was kind of feeling very good, in that sense. And when I say feeling that good, I'm speaking in the sense that it is good to understand that when you have a coach in place and you're performing so well, what will then happen is when you make that change, it might backfire on you. And so it is the JFF who came and said, hey, we're recommending that he remains as a head coach. Well, today, Coach Vin Blaine has decided to resign. Now, he hasn't handed in the resignation letter as yet, but the argument is that he will resign as head coach of the Reggae Girls. And, he has openly spoke that it is outside influence that is triggering the reaction that we are getting from these Reggae Girls. It's very unfortunate, honestly speaking. It's very unfortunate. Now, it could be a good thing for us. And when I say a good thing for us, is that it's a good thing from the JFF perspective. They were not the ones who actually fired him. And with him resigning or pending resignation, it is a good thing for the girls, because the situation would be a little bit more toxic in terms of, would the girls respect him again, knowing that they wrote that letter? And the answer would have been probably no. And probably, when you really look at it, how do we move forward from that situation? Because, sometimes we have individuals who are not forgiving. And if you're not forgiving, then you can't look at it and say, girls, I understand, let's move on. Let's work and get the job done for our nation. So with this resignation, apparently, Coach Vin Blaine now saying that he doesn't want to hand in the resignation until his staff get paid. Well, I guess he has a point, because sometimes with the JFF, they'll say one thing and they'll just drag things out. So I guess he wants his staff to get paid, and once they get paid, then he would resign. Well, the training is in May again with the Reggae Girls, because now they're ending their season. We'll touch on the Reggae Girls season ending now. But with their season ending, these girls are now available starting next week. And so the thing about it is now getting into the preparation piece is like, who is going to fit in? And we have an idea who is going to fit in. I figure Mendes is going to be coming back to lead the girls. And, again, it could be. And, whoever comes and coach the Reggae Girls, hey, thumbs up to them. We want to get to where we want to get to. And getting to the World Cup is the most important thing for us, to be honest. Jamaica football need to rise, and need to rise at a faster pace than how it is going. there's too much hiccups, there's too much negativity, there's too much toxicity, there's too much know-it-alls into the football program. Some of whom don't even know the game. I've never even played the game. I've never even think outside the box as it relates to the game. Don't even have the know-how to move the country forward in terms of football. But then they're the leaders. Who am I to tell them what to do? The only thing that I know is that we have to create a better platform. We have to create better relationship. Better relationship in terms of coaches and players. We have to get it right. However we're going to get it right, we must do it. Sometimes getting the right thing done is going to be costly. Costly meaning that you need to get a serious coach or serious coaches for our program to really advance us as a nation. We keep recycling old coaches, friends of friends, people who will believe we have the link with, and them people they want to rate type of thing. And then when we get them into the program and they fail, them just walk away like nothing ever happened. Yeah, man, I saw it even in the World Cup, the Women's World Cup. All this hype and all the hype with these coaches. And when we lost our World Cup games, it seems like nothing. Like no reaction. It's like, okay, we lost. Now, man, we need seriousness into this. Some seriousness. And if I'm speaking, I'm speaking to the board of directors of JFF. I'm speaking to its general secretary. I'm speaking to its president. I'm speaking to the technical director. And what I'm saying to you is, we tend to look clueless in what we're doing. And I know you can do it. I really and truly believe that you guys can do it. But you guys keep on recycling some of the most comical set of people into our program and thinking that we're ever going to get better. No, we can't get better. Come on, we have to do better than that. You want to invite me and let me show you some of the things that we can do? I would love that. So if you're listening, yeah, you know you can reach me. Yeah. Yeah, man. So with that said, very unfortunate now that Mr. Coach Vin Blaine will resign. And, we just have to hope that whoever comes in, and I think it would be Mendes again, that, we get there. We get the girls to qualify. And hopefully this will help the girls to stay focused and get the job done. Whichever the situation, I'm supporting Jamaica 100%. Yeah, not because you see me in a Mexico t-shirt. I put on a Mexico because CONCACAF is a very important thing, and we have to support everyone in CONCACAF. Whether they succeed or not, we have to support them. Even at the World Cup, I'm supporting CONCACAF because that's who we Jamaica is in. That criteria. Everyone else is going to brag Europe and South America and Asia and Pacific. We have to focus on CONCACAF and we have to support them. So you will see me in different jerseys, maybe the US jersey at one point, maybe you will see me in a Canada jersey, but we have to support each other. It's support for support, because I know for a fact that a lot of people within CONCACAF do support Jamaica. Yeah. So, speaking of which, as we were talking about the girls, two Jamaica Reggae girls, they actually met up this weekend. Bonnie Shaw with Manchester City versus Spence with Chelsea in the Women's FA Cup finals. And it was a game, it was a game that it depends on how you look at it. Because from my perspective, I saw some horrendous goalkeeping from the Manchester City goalkeeper. I was kind of shocked that she's the number one. Big errors. In fact, two errors that resulted to be costly to Manchester City. I'm sure the I'm sure Bodisha and others must be scratching there to say what just happened. Calamity. The last time I see calamity like that is David James when he was playing for Liverpool. Yes, that David James, Calamity James, they call it. But it wasn't a game where, even though the two errors existed, that Manchester City gave up. They actually came back into the game and drew that game 2-2. Yeah, and it's a Manchester City that these ladies, they were playing with their heart, you know. And I didn't really know who to really celebrate for because, Bonisha is my footballer. And I like watching her play, top striker. And, then you have Spence playing for Chelsea and you're wondering, well, which way do you go? I mean, everyone would go with Bonisha because, she's our prolific striker. But we also have Spence, and we have to try to support our Jamaican females at any given time, So it was just, you get caught between a rock and a hard place, and, the two teams have the Jamaicans. I think it's the only two team in the English Women Premier League that has Jamaicans representing. And, of course, one had to win. And it was not a gift from their goalkeeper to really put the game to bed. I think it was scored in the 99th minute. And Chelsea did a domestic double. One beating Manchester City in the FA Cup. And of course, beating Arsenal to the Women's Premier League. That was a huge thing in itself. So, yeah, it was a good FA Cup final, and to see Bonisha playing, it was really good to watch one of our players in there. So, bravo to Manchester City for not giving up after, the errors from their goalkeeper and still fighting and getting back into the game. But of course, Chelsea is definitely best team. Chelsea is the best team in England, and actually, this FA Cup win by Chelsea is their fourth straight FA Cup win. So it goes to show that they're not a joke team, No, man, they're not a joke team, man. And so they're really come out and really play some serious football. But a good thing for Bonisha, as we had announced last week, her team, Manchester City, they finished third in the Women's Premier League, and she'll be playing in the Champions League next season. That's a good thing. Serious. Can't complain, So love that, love the energy, love what I'm seeing in terms of our players getting opportunities in Europe and really performing to the highest standards. I think last week we did mention Junior Fleming. Yes, man, Toulouse is now in League One. We just want to bring it up again. So congrats again, Junior Fleming, Yeah. So this week in the Jamaica Premier League, my hope team, Arnett Gardens, went up against the high-flying Dumbarton. And to be honest, at one point I wanted to say I felt threatened, like we couldn't do it. And another minute I said, but this is Arnett Gardens. We're not fearing nobody. And it was a match that it's a mouth-watering match. I mean, down to the wire. Football as it's at its best in the Jamaica Premier League. Speaking, I still believe that this season's Jamaica Premier League is the best that I've seen in a good while. The last time I saw the Premier League like this being very competitive, top quality talent was back in the 80s, when you had like the Christopher Dias, them time them know on it, But this season, for some reason, with a change of coach, Arnett Garden just seemed to be a team that will be fighting all the way to the end. And you don't know Romeo Guthrie, 8-minute goal. 8-minute goal, So think now, we have so many more minutes to play the game and Dumbo Holden brought it to on it, yeah, this one. Remember, we are playing Anthony Spalding's complex, so the whole place really turn up. And guess what happened? After scoring in the 8 minute, yeah, man. After scoring in the 8 minute, Ajuma Johnson get her straight ready in the 23rd minute. So something that you wouldn't even think or expect to ever happen in the game. In the 8th minute, you score the early goal against one of the toughest team in the Jamaica Premier League, only to see that one of your players get a red card in the 23rd minute. So enough little strategy you have to throw out the door, revamp back your strategies, trying to find how to really set up your team, because this is a tough number Holland team. No joke. They have been on top of the league. They have been playing exceptionally well, and they are no joke. So for Arnett to go down to 10 men in the first half, the second half was going to turn up. And lo and behold, in the second half, Earl Spencer now pick up his second caution in the 67th minute. So with that said, now Arnett Garden was playing with 9 men. 9. Would you have believed that? 9 men they're playing with. So it's like this is chaos. What are they going to do? But when you're a big team, and yeah, man, Arnett Garden a big team. When you're a big team, and when you're up to the task, you have to give it your 199%. And what Tigart Davis did was make some drastic changes to hold off the pressure from Dumbo Holden. So just imagine playing with 9 men, 67 minutes. Ball game just turn up, and Arnett fought this one out to hold off a tough Dumbo Holden. Yeah, man, we take the 3 points and send them back home empty-handed. So you have to really and truly give credit where credit is due, But there was even more missed chances for Arnett Gardens. We had opportunities upon opportunities. You know what I mean? So we had, even Cephas should have scored. Easy header, and he made it right over the bar, and it's about the 17th minute. But we have to think about it. Dumbo Holden came into the game. And Bygrave, the man get some chances. And him just never take the chances, One of them, him miss hit the shot, and then next one him just failed to make contact. Them shot that should be goal. When you create chances, you have to take chances. And that's the only thing with Dumbo Holden. Them never take them chances. And so Arnett Garden really and truly pull it off. Yeah, man, it's a good thing, because Arnett Garden just continue to rise again after a poor season last season. Very, very poor season. This season, they look like the Arnett Garden that we know, But there was a second match over there. Yeah, man. Harborview versus Umberline. And you know what? Harborview and Umberline are two of my colleagues, them team, Harborview, my colleague, Goosey Bennett, and Umberline, of course, coached by Andrew Price. Yeah, man. Seriousness. So, there's a bragging rights between them, because they're my friend too, So, you can't let Harborview beat Umberline in them situation, because at the end of the day, Goosey now go finish with Andrew Price when him done, So, this bragging rights thing, boy, I can only envision the pressure and Andrew Price not to lose to Harborview, because majority of my friends them, and Harborview them come from or used to play for So you can't lose to Harborview at no given time. So, it was credit to Price for, keep the team together, staying focused, and pulling off this stalemate, nil-nil draw against a hot and fiery Harborview, Can't make them score, yeah. Can't make them take a 3 points, yeah, Mr. Price. So at the end of the day, split 1 point. Both teams are happy. Bragging rights stay intact. Goosey can taunt off Pricey. And Pricey can do the same. Good little match. But the one thing I say is, and not because Price is a friend of mine, but Lions really start to find their form and seem to be a team that is hard to beat. You know, Defense wise, the team well set up, and they are making teams in the Jamaica Premier League recognize that you're not just gonna come and take away my 3 points like that. You have to go fight for it. If you want that, show me how good it is. So, that was just a good matchup, to be honest. These are the two games that I'm telling you, it really show up the Jamaica Premier League. And I have to tell everyone, including the sponsors, listen, you have done an exceptional job this year. The Jamaican Premier League is up to par and exciting as the English Premier League. And if you're in the diaspora and want to watch the Jamaica Premier League, man, you can watch that, man. Instant TV, that's where you can watch it live. And if you also want to watch it live, in some cases, you can watch it on Sportsmax. So either are Instant.TV, Instant.TV, and Sportsmax. That's where I watch my games and enjoying it. Trust me, beautiful to watch our beloved teams and playing the Premier League once again. Yeah, man. So credit to everyone. Credit to the Jamaica Football Federation. Credit to the sponsors. Credit to Corporate Jamaica for coming on board and supporting, the teams and everything that is going on. This has been a very beautiful season, Speaking of that, Tier 2, the national Tier 2 football competition is fast approaching. And it is expected that, the league will kickstart on Saturday, May 28th. Yeah, man. So within 2 weeks from now, we will have the national Tier 2 football. And it should be a very good one because you have the likes of, the Wadada, Wadada is back, the name Wadada back into the 80s, they want to get back to the top tier football. And it's a good look. You have Falmouth United still trying to push to get that place. And of course, Falmouth United is owned by Kimani Mali. Yeah, man, you have some good little team I got playing at the Tier 2 football, And, as I said, May 28th, that is the kickoff date. Let us hope that, we can see teams really pushing because the two finalists in the national Tier 2 football, those two teams will advance to the Jamaica Premier League. So it is a good platform for teams to get to the Jamaica Premier League. And whereas the two teams that get relegated, they would drop back into the national Tier 2 football. The way that I see it, I think it is a beautiful concept. And in the national Tier 2 football competition, there will be no relegation for 2 years. Now, remember, the Premier League relegates, but not the national Tier 2. So if a team does get relegated to Tier 2 football, they can actually bounce back in the next season. And if they don't bounce back into the next season, they still have another year in which they can bounce back to the Premier League. So it's a very exciting concept, and I like this concept. And it gives the teams opportunities, teams that you might not even have heard about, from St. Thomas, Portland, St. Mary, Trelawney, Montego Bay. We have, I think only Kingston don't have a team in the league. Because you have team from St. Catherine going to be playing. Clarendon will be playing. Manchester will be playing. St. Elizabeth. And of course, you have Westmoreland who will be playing. So it's a good opportunity for us to showcase some of the top teams that are in each of the regions, where they will be vying for the opportunity to get to that final, which will allow them to push to the first tier football competition, which is the Jamaica Premier League. So good luck to all the teams that will be representing the national tier 2 competition. Yeah, man. Big up to everyone who has put this one together. The idea, the concept, it's beautiful, So I'm really looking forward to see these matches as well. Yeah. So we want to shift our game now and move away from local football and the CONCACAF type football and push ourselves now to, more to Europe. Enough little things going on in Europe. Couple things to highlight is, of course, the men's FA Cup final. Liverpool, Chelsea. No, I have to tell you this, I am not a fan of Liverpool FC, and neither am I a fan of Chelsea FC. I am not a fan because their fans are some of the worst when it comes down to my beloved Manchester United. And of course, if Liverpool wins, it means that they just add on to a cup that they already win because they won the Carabao Cup a couple months ago. So if they win, it's like, okay, they're going to celebrate. Of course, you have to celebrate, yeah? But if Chelsea wins, I can tell you this much. Chelsea fans would be laughing at Manchester United fans because, as you all know by now, Manchester United cannot win any trophy competition. They can't even advance to Champions League. That's how bad we have performed this season. Under Ragnick, we have performed worse than when we had Ole Gunnar. And might as well, we had just kept Ole Gunnar. So we are at our worst. But just think about it as a Manchester United fan for a second. Your biggest fan base who critique your football club, Chelsea Football Club, loves to critique Manchester United, especially when we're on our downward spiral in football. Oh man, they're our worst critics. And so if they win the FA Cup, oh man, they would have been taunting me to death. They would have been taunting and bragging about their cup that they win and how Manchester United have an empty cabinet this season once again. That's the football, That's the football world, but I love it. I love it because you see, when the taunting starts, I love the taunting. I can take it and I like to give it. Chelsea FC in this season have ended the season with no trophy, just like Manchester United. Isn't that beautiful? Yes, it is a beautiful thing because I could not go another week knowing that they win the FA Cup and we are empty-handed once again. And so congratulations to Liverpool Football Club, as much as I don't like the club itself. But you know what, with Liverpool, and in fact, let's talk about the game. I think that both teams played exceptionally well. Both teams played exceptionally well. And none of them could be separated. Not one of them. Stalemate all through the end. Stalemate. 0-0, halftime, 0-0 final whistle. They go into extra time. And going into extra time, you're still looking for a goal. And there was none. went to penalty kick, and that is where the nerves start to shake up a bit. And Liverpool FC, I think they needed it more. You could see their faces, and especially when Salah got injured. And I like watching Salah. I think he's a gentle giant, nice personality and everything. And so to see that him coming off injured, in them still fighting for the title and this FA Cup, and then of course the Champions League coming up for them. They say quadruple. We're gonna get into that too, right? So it's very good to see how even in adversity, Liverpool really fought back to get themselves into that position and held out Chelsea FC. Both teams had chances, to be honest. Both teams had chances, and they just didn't take it. But at the end of the day, what I love about Liverpool FC, as I've said, with them winning, it silenced the Manchester United critics, who are mostly Chelsea fans. So I'm happy that Chelsea did not win, not for any bias, but because I couldn't go another season empty-handed and then have a trophy. So they're empty-handed. Manchester United is empty-handed. Good season. Yes. So again, congrats again to Liverpool FC. I do have some serious critics from Liverpool as well, but sometimes I think them let common sense prevail in most of them discourse, but not the Chelsea fans, not the Chelsea fans. So it's a good thing to see here. I love it. I really and truly love the good part about football. And as I've said in my earlier conversation, football is. And what makes football is that we can create a platform on social media, and we can get individuals to bond. You see, football brings people together, bring people from all over the country, Jamaica, in the diaspora, in other parts of the world, and we all speak the same language. There's this love for the game. Everyone has their own team, and everyone is just getting into the friendliness and the friendly bantering, but it brings us closer because I would not know you, but it's football that made me know you, and it's football that made me come up with the idea to say, hey, you know what, why not do a football show? Yeah, talk. I mean, you see what's going on in football, you understand the game. I'm still a student of the game, and I like to speak everything from my heart, and that is what I'm seeing, that it brings us together. And that's why I believe that this game, football lives, means so much. You want to know how football lives? Let's get to the next topic, which is the English Premier League. Now, remember, I tell you, Manchester United, which is my beloved team, they have no chance of advancing the Champions League. They have one more game to play, and they can't even get close to any team whatsoever. So we are really not doing too well in this season. Last season we finished second, and to finish the position we're in right now, which is sixth, it's kind of really bad. But you know what? I love that there is a challenge for other positions in the table. Firstly, the title contenders, Manchester City and Liverpool. Wow. They're going down to the wire. Honestly speaking, they are going down to the wire. At one point, I saw Liverpool leading the league, and I'm saying to myself, wow, they are really one of the best teams. And then I see another flip to the whole thing. And now Manchester City has taken the lead. They are now 4 points adrift. And Liverpool have a game in hand. And if they win their next game, Manchester City is going into the final game at 1 point, assuming Liverpool wins. Because if Liverpool do not win their game, Manchester City is crowned champions. Now, remember in my earlier discussion regarding the FA Cup final, I wanted Liverpool to win because I cannot take the bantering from my Chelsea friends. Yes, but here we are now in the title contender race. Manchester City and mine, I wanted to slap Mahrez in the head for missing that penalty. Because if he had not missed that penalty, title would be over. Mahrez missed the penalty that would have given Manchester City the title. No, firstly, the game between Manchester City and West Ham was no joke. West Ham was actually leading that game 2-0. And at 2-0, I was in shell shock because I could not believe West Ham have Manchester City, the mighty Manchester City, who were pretty much Champions League contender and favorite to win the Champions League. 2-0. I could not believe that. I was dumbstruck. But remember, I said, football lives. So you have to expect the unexpected to happen in football. And so when West Ham took the lead and having them down 2-0, I was looking at myself like, okay, what can David Moyes do now to lose this match? And apparently the man did almost everything to lose that match. He changed the way his team played. From going attacking, he tried to go defensive. And Manchester City does not put down. When they're going all out. If they believe that they're not supposed to lose, they're going all out. And they put down a serious showdown with West Ham as if it was a final. This was their Champions League final. And they went out banging. And of course, they banged 2 goals. 2 very good goals, to be honest. Jack Grealish, who everyone criticized, including myself in the Champions League. I still think that Pep made a bad substitution by bringing on Jack Grealish. I still believe that Pep should have brought on Sterling instead of Jack Grealish and maybe bring Grealish on in the latter stage of that Champions League match because he was leading 2-0. Now, here's a situation that he is now behind 2 goals. And his game this time, because Grealish was already on the field. And Grealish changed that game and pulled one back for Manchester City. Yeah. After they went 2-2, the only thing that I saw flashing into my face, Manchester City, EPL champions. And here comes the penalty kick. A brilliant penalty won by Manchester City. Mahrez stepped up. Don't know why. This is not the first time I've seen him done it. I've seen him even last season doing the same thing and missing penalties in some crucial time. And I'm looking at myself and saying, but there's Kevin De Bruyne. Why isn't he taking this penalty? I mean, he scored 4 goals the previous week. Why not give him to let him take that penalty? Okay, because you're the designated penalty taker. Okay, I understand that. I understand that you're the penalty taker, the designated penalty taker, but you can't give it up, right? Your team needs a win. And the person who should be taking a penalty at that time is the one who is mentally strong. Yes, you have to select the player that is mentally strong. In fact, At one point before the penalty take, I saw Pep talking to Fernandinho, and I thought Fernandinho was going to take that penalty. Unbelievable. He would have been my choice because he has the strength of a true warrior, Fernandinho. And then I saw it's Mahrez. I was like, wait a minute. I don't even like Mahrez taking penalty because I remember last season what he did. And of course, he kicked the ball in the direction that any goalkeeper would have gone, knowing that you're a left-footed player. He already beat the goalkeeper, but he still placed the ball where every goalkeeper would have expected a left-footed player to kick the ball. That's the thing that I don't understand with him. Maybe it's just naivety, and you can have that because remember, I'm not playing the game at the time. He's playing that game. But you see pressure was spike. He missed the penalty. And because he missed the penalty, Liverpool FC has another chance. And they have a slim chance to nip Manchester City. And remember, as I said, football lives. Now, if football lives, what we're telling you today is that it is not over because Liverpool can win their match this week. And if they win that match this week and win their match on Sunday, and Manchester City either draw or lose their match, trouble that trouble that. So you cannot just discard Liverpool because Manchester City is on 4 points. It would be stupid to do such a thing because football lives. And when we say football lives, that is what we mean. Football lives. Liverpool still has a chance to win the English Premier League. Do I want Liverpool to win the English Premier League this season? I'm not going to say anything in that regards. And the reason why I'm not going to say anything in that regards because some of my players who play for Tuscany Warriors Football Club, they are Liverpool fans and they are very excited. And so I personally would not want to dampen their hope in terms of this running. But what I can say to them is that it is not over. Mathematically, it is not over. Had Mahrez scored that penalty, I would say, yes, it's over. So Liverpool have to win both their games. They can't draw a game either, I know. Yeah, they cannot draw a game either. They would have to win both games. And with them winning both games, again, Manchester City would either have to draw or lose their final match. And their game is against Aston Villa. And guess who is the coach for Aston Villa? Steven Mr. Slip Gerrard. So of course he would want Manchester City to slip this time around. And who is actually playing for Aston Villa? Oh yes, Coutinho, former Liverpool player, is playing on Aston Villa's team. Coutinho and Gerrard. So both players have connection with Liverpool and would want to see Liverpool win the English Premier League. Well, good luck with that. Good luck with that. Because I'm sure that Pep will go to the drawing board and figure this one out and see how quickly they can sweep Aston Villa off the platform. Because you have to. You can't sit and wait on no team. You have to take them out early. You have to put Aston Villa to the sword. Because if you let Aston Villa play the way Aston Villa play and into the game with you, toe-to-toe, they might nick it. And so the English Premier League title race is still on. And we have our players as well who are Manchester City fans. Trust me, this title race is good for football. Speaking of that, fourth place race. Oh man. Fourth place race. The fourth place run in where Manchester United was actually rushing to get something out of this too. And of course, they literally messed up. Big time, they messed up. And so, Manchester United out. And so it was down to the two North London teams, Tottenham Hotspur and Arsenal. Now, you said it's fourth place race between Tottenham and Arsenal. It's not normal. When I say it's not normal, it's not normal. It is a serious matchup, intensity. And guess what ended up happening? They had to play each other, which made it so perfect. Because now them can't say, is that team or is that team, sell it out. No, your team had to come and play to prove that you deserve that fourth place spot. And Tottenham brush away Arsenal. Brush them away. Like seriously brush them away. Arsenal cannot say that they don't have a great season. Started off bad, picked it up, started to go up on a serious run of games. I love soccer. But when they're really supposed to cement the fourth spot, they have blundered. They have lost their last two matches. The last two matches. And you think that when you hear me say the Chelsea fan them love to chastise and criticize and laugh and banter Manchester United. Oh man, it is the Arsenal fans who does it best. Because let them get to fourth place. And worse, Manchester United cannot get fourth spot. I wouldn't hear the last of it. And guess who is an Arsenal fan? Andrew Price. Yes, most of my friends are Arsenal fans. And they hate my guts because I always think that Arsenal is a macaroni FC team. They want to be a big team. Yes, they won the Premier League. But even with them winning the Premier League, they have never advanced to the status of big teams. And I don't know why. Because at the time, Wenger, with that mastery team, even then, they never won the Champions League. They went to the final once. I remember Sol Campbell scoring that opening goal, and Arsenal was leading 1-0. And the same Sol Campbell stupidly got himself a red card. And that was the Champions League title. Brilliant team from Arsenal, man. Yeah, man, they had a very brilliant team. And they lost that final. So, after losing that final, I've noticed that Arsenal no longer challenge for the Premier League title. And I've always wondered why. But why? Because winning the English Premier League title is not big enough for them. So they don't invest into the players that they need to win back the title. Their game is to get the cheapest players. And by getting the cheapest players, those cheapest players normally get them to the fourth spot. So every season for the longest while, Arsenal's methodology is to get fourth. That was a small club-minded way of thinking and strategy. It was lacking anything of a big club status. And so they won the Premier League, because they to this day, they're the only teams that went undefeated for a full season. And they actually went on a 49-game undefeated run. Of course, they run up in a Manchester United the following season and we knock them out because they want to go 50. And think about that team. After just coming from an undefeated season, winning the Premier League, still did not believe to invest in the players to advance to the status of a big club. They became mediocre. I remember Ashley Cole left Arsenal and went to Chelsea and won the Premier League. I remember two more of their players left Arsenal and went to Manchester City and won the title in Manchester. As a matter of fact, three or four of their players. Oh my goodness. I forgot Adebayo. Four of their players left Arsenal and went to Manchester City and won the English Premier League. The following year, Van Persie left Arsenal and come to Manchester United and won the Premier League. Almost every player that left Arsenal went to a team that won the Premier League. That's the Arsenal that we're talking about, who have quality players, but it's the mindset from the top. Stan Kroenke did not want to invest money. And he knew that the best business strategy is just to get the team in the fourth spot so that they get into Champions League. And when they get into the group stages, Arsenal would perform well in the group stages. And the goal is, let us get to at least a round of 16. And if we can get to the quarterfinals, that is even more money for us. That was the philosophy. That was the mentality of the board and the majority owner, which is Stan Kroenke. Let's get to the quarterfinal. And lo and behold, Manchester United have the same platform. The same stupid platform. Because its owners borrowed money and all they need was just to finish in the quarterfinal each season. And they would be good. So you see, the Arsenal philosophy, the strategy, the business strategy was always a small club-minded. And that is why you never saw them advancing. So to see them coming this season and fighting, and I think they played so well, and it's going to be very unfortunate. As I said, the only thing that I wouldn't have wanted is the bantering, because me already have deal with the Liverpool winning FA Cup. I would have to deal with the Chelsea team, unfortunately. So one they'd have to win. So Liverpool win it. Okay, I can take the Liverpool fans. But if the Arsenal get to the fourth and Manchester United is not in that top four, I wouldn't see the next couple of days. I would be having sleepless nights because it would be a nightmare for me. And so the bottom line is they run a good run, honestly speaking. But when you start to drop points and your biggest rival, because their biggest rival is Tottenham, not London Derby, is no joke. And when you see Tottenham coming, they got Conte, and I know that Daniel Levy did not get Conte just to finish outside of the Champions League. He got Conte to finish in the Champions League because they took out loan to build stadium just like Arsenal, and they need to get that money, and they know that they need to get into Champions League to start to get money to start to pay back that bill, because they went to the Champions League final, with Pochettino. And the funny thing about it is, the player who got Pochettino to the final, Pochettino benched him in the final. And I felt that that was the stupidest thing that Pochettino could ever do. And lo and behold, everything that he came up with, it backfired. I felt like Tottenham could have won that Champions League easily. But guess what? The coach's decision. And so to see them fighting their biggest rival for that top four position, I love it. That's what makes football live. And Tottenham faced Arsenal, one of the biggest rivalry in North London It was a North London derby, the fight for the fourth place, and Tottenham brushed them aside. And therefore, my favorite team to win the top four position has to be Tottenham. Yes, there was a time when them used to say Tottenham are underachievers, and they are. But to see them fighting and going against a nemesis Arsenal, that's what I love. Stop them, because Arsenal have always been getting the upper hand over Tottenham, and this season it has reversed. Now, it's not over yet, and that's why football lives. It is not over as yet. Here's the reason why it's not over as yet. Arsenal is on 66 points and Tottenham is on 68 points. You see? So if Tottenham believe that it is over, slip up. So Tottenham is going to be playing Norwich. And here are the game I can get interested now. And I'm telling you, football lives. Tottenham is playing Norwich. I can see Norwich is already relegated, Norwich have nothing to play for except a better sending off to their fans. And they will be coming. They're playing, because this is the English Premier League. No team can just get away like that. So you can get a shocker. Norwich can beat Tottenham. And if that happens, Arsenal has to win. Now, here's the good thing with Arsenal game now. Arsenal now plays Everton. Everton is fighting for relegation. And Everton cannot allow to lose that game. You see, Everton cannot allow to lose that game, because if Everton lose that game and Burnley and Leeds win, you get it? Yeah. If Everton beat Arsenal, them safe. But if Arsenal beat Everton and Burnley or Leeds win, Everton is relegated. You see the pre. So the pre now is Arsenal don't have an easy game. They want to win. They're going to go fighting. But Everton is in a relegation battle and cannot allow Arsenal to defeat them. And therefore, that is the match of the weekend. Arsenal versus Everton. Arsenal need to win with the hope that Tottenham lose their game so that Arsenal get to the fourth spot. And if they win and Tottenham lose, then yes, Arsenal, good. But if Arsenal win, that means Everton lose. And if Leeds or Burnley win, Everton drop right into the relegation. That is how football is. And that is why it is the most beautiful game ever. Because all these probabilities can happen. This is football. And that's why I love it. I don't like any other sport than football. Real football. Not about soccer. Football. You understand? So this is it. This is how the English Premier League is playing off right this minute. And this is what we're expected to see. A good fight for the title race, for the fourth place, and for the relegation. This is what it all boils down to. And this is what makes the English Premier League one of the best league ever. I don't want to watch any other league. I don't want to watch Serie A. I don't want to watch League One. Oh, occasionally I watch La Liga. I may watch one Bundesliga game. But it's the English Premier League. The English Premier League shows us what football is all about and why it is important for us to say football lives. Yeah, man, you can say it to man. You see, Pre? Yeah. Now, the final topic I really want to touch on is the Champions League. It's a big match. Big match between Real Madrid and Liverpool. And I want you guys to hear it from us too, Champions League final, big matchup, the Big Bens versus the Mo Salah and the Sadio Mane and the Firmino and the Henderson. Yeah, we have every player can talk about. The Modric, the Vinny. This Champions League final is not for the faint heart because it's going to be football end to end, great tacticians at display, and great players showcasing why football is. It's even hard to even select a team. Yeah, it's even difficult to select a team. In fact, last week I made a prediction. And I made that prediction and said, Liverpool will take it. Yeah, I did make that prediction. Honestly speaking. But when you really look at the two teams, Real Madrid just won their game over the weekend, 5-0. And therefore, you can't just get up and talk and say, I'm predicting this team to beat this team and that team to beat that team. This is a Real Madrid that is not in any joke. And this is also Liverpool, who are true warriors in England. True warriors when they play Champions League. They've done it before and they'll do it again. They will fight to the end. They are the ones who say, you'll never walk alone. But I'm not walking with them at all. I'm not walking with them. I just don't want to predict against teams that my players love, because I don't want to say something and they're watching this live, or I share the video to them and they might simply say, Serdi or Shad, why did you choose against my team? I don't want that. So it's kind of difficult. It's like you want to say Real Madrid on one side and another side wanted to say Liverpool. I just believe that this is a great chance for the master, which is Ancelotti, to face up against a younger version of himself, which is Klopp. And the tacticians will be on play, and you could see Ancelotti outwit Pep and let Pep have to think too hard that even killed himself. And now Ancelotti is up against Klopp, another tactician. Now the difference to me with Klopp is that he's not egoistic like Pep. He's very humble. And he believes in his team. And where I've seen over and over again where he makes brave decisions, and the brave decisions that he makes is to, you would once think it weakens his team, but it actually strengthens his team. And that is the thing that I love about Clark. I don't like him as a coach. I don't like him as a person, because I can tell you some things that I don't like about him, but that is not what we are here for. What we're here for is to talk about the good things that he does for his team, and this is Champions League football. And so his thing is all about tactical work with who he has. He still plays with the false line, and they're still producing. They play their press football, and they're still doing the job so well. Fitness, turn up on that team. Now, what I love about this matchup is that both teams play press football. And as I said last week, if Pep saw that his team was being pressed, why wouldn't Pep instead bring on the Sterling and then play the ball over the pressers? Because now there's more space behind them. And he never did it. Now, in this case here, we have questions. Will Real Madrid press Liverpool on the Klopp? My answer, they can. But not the way they did against Manchester City. Because remember, Klopp plays press football. So he would have set up his team at all times to counter Real Madrid press. So it's now going down to the best tactician wins. I kind of like Liverpool chances to win. I really do. And I think it is possible for Liverpool Football Club. And being that they're an English-based team, I would prefer Liverpool Football Club to win against Real Madrid. But it shall be a classic match. And I have a strong feeling it will be even better than El Clasico. Yes, you heard that from Shad. Unfortunately, I'm a Manchester United fan, but I would love to see Liverpool pull it off for the sake of football. May the best team win in the Champions League, and I'm wishing everyone a wonderful evening. Thank you again for joining us. As I said, click like and subscribe to our channel. And just remember, on this forum, on this talk show, football lives. And what we want to bring to you is just the excitement and enjoyment about football. Everything about football. Everything that is positive about football, nothing negative. And where there is negative, we hope to take the negative and change them into the positive. At the end of the day, we hope that you enjoy this show. And we thank you again for joining us today. Again, our talk show is every Monday at 8 p.m. US time, 7 p.m. Jamaica time. Yeah, man. Again, best of luck to all the teams that are going for the English Premier League title, those who are fighting for fourth spot, and those who are fighting the relegation battle, and the Champions League final. Those are the notable games to come. Again, my picks for the Premier League, it's very difficult. The ball is wrong. Liverpool still has a chance. Again, Manchester City, they can only lose this title themselves. But there's still hope. Fourth spot, I love Tottenham, honestly speaking. But knowing that this is football, anything can happen. If Tottenham lose and Arsenal wins, then Arsenal advance to the Champions League. If Arsenal wins, that means Everton lost. Then the scenario in the relegation battle is if Leeds United and Burnley wins, then Everton FC will get relegated. And nobody wants to see that, right? Actually, I do. I want to see Everton FC getting relegated. I think the entire English people are very cocky in terms of how they selected Frank Lampard. And I think that he's not ready for management at the high level. But because he's English and he's the Frank Lampard, he gets these opportunities. And now that I see him failing, remember, he was a coach for Chelsea. And when he was a coach of Chelsea and he made all these buys, it is Tuchel that is doing a great job with them from last season. Now he's getting another chance here at Everton FC, and it's just showing up again that he's not good enough. But leave it to the English. They believe that he is so good and he's the future of English football. But I don't think so. I think what he is just a simple, mediocre coach who is just full of himself and thinks that he knows and think that he can carry this. But I think that he's going to carry Everton FC downhill. Honestly speaking, they're going to get relegated. That is my choice for relegation. Now, the good news is Norwich is already relegated. Watford is already relegated. So it's just one more team to get relegated. As I said, now Everton FC faces an Arsenal who needs to win for a chance to go to Champions League. This will be an epic match and a match of the weekend. Watch it carefully. Now, there's one game that is going on right now in terms of the next team to advance to the English Premier League. And I'm seeing Nottingham Forest. They just won their game yesterday 2-1. And they look the likely candidate to advance to the English Premier League. I would love to see Nottingham Forest back in the English Premier League. And if you know Nottingham Forest, remember, that is a team where Roy Keane came from. Yeah, man. That is a team that Roy Keane come from. and they have not been back up since Roy Keane left Nottingham Forest and came to Manchester United. And remember, Nottingham Forest was team that was playing in Europe and boss in Europe. So think about it for a second. And if they can build back Nottingham Forest to the team that they once was, English Premier League, turn up next season. Yes. So that is what I have for you. I really want to see Nottingham Forest up. Everton FC, I want them to get relegated. Fourth place, I think it would be Tottenham. But as I said, the game is not over. Anyway, gentle people, thank you for joining. Thank you for all the comments that you have shared. Glad to have you on board. Glad to have you listening to our program. And if you have missed the live program, please watch the video and tell us what you think. We want to hear from you. We want to improve our program and pretty much making it one of the best, because that is what we're going for. Yeah, man. Tell a friend to know. All right, then. Cool. Bless up yourself. Have a good night, gentle people. One love.